I would say that we all have our hills that we are willing to die on when it comes to the Bible. Uh, Barring, the resurrection of the Lord Jesus Christ and, all these other things, the important things that Jesus died for our sins and he came back and then he ascended to heaven. Here's the thing. There's one hill I'm willing to die on. And that is the one where the Bible does not tell you in any way, shape, or form that you got to beat your children. Okay? Every time the Bible addresses discipline, it is really for grown-ups. Okay? For people that have gone beyond help and now they need to be bitten, beat. Okay? All right. Why am I yelling at you? I'm not yelling. I hope I'm not yelling at you. But this is one of those things close to my heart. We have raised 4 children. They're wonderful human beings. They are flawed.
Most days.
Most days, they're very flawed, and they got issues like everybody else in this broken heart, broken world. But they are good kids. Okay, I don't have children that drink, that smoke, that whore around, or anything like that. And they're respectful to their parents and all this stuff. They're really smart, just good, caring souls. And there's a lot of things that I could boast on my kids that I'm not gonna do that. But we did not spank. Okay. We were very creative. Okay. We did a few things. When they were fighting with each other, we tied them together. That ended the fight real quick. Okay. When uh when they were misbehaving and they were little, you gave them time out. And you know what? That works like a miracle every time. Okay? So, why am I here? All right. I saw this video of Doug Wilson, whom I have some serious issues with regarding their parenting. They say we know them by their fruits, and obviously they have what turned out to be 3 wonderful children, or 3 or 4 that have families and they're well off and all of that, what have you. And I don't know their personal lives, okay? So I'm not gonna tell you one way or the other. Okay, so all I can tell you is that they have conditioned people to think that it's okay to spank or hit your children in one way or another. Okay. This is what this is about, okay? Friends, your pastor, your Christian pastor, is not qualified to tell you how to raise your children. All right? Your pastor, preacher, teacher, priest is not qualified to tell you how to raise your children. He is not. Anyway, so that's what I'm trying to tell you, okay? The Every parent gets their own separate, different set of children. There are some basic needs that need to be met. Okay. You need to love your kids, give them attention, food, shelter, clothing, educate them, teach them how to be disciplined in certain things and all that. Moral rectitude, don't be a whore, and that includes boys and girls. Okay. All that set aside, okay? Every parent gets a different set of kids. With each kid, there comes its own personality. Now, he was addressing a question about whether, how to, what were the kid, they had a shy kid that's 4 years old. And he's giving them advice on how to take care of the kid. And now, I'm gonna link it below so that you can watch it. But his advice is useless. The only good thing that he said is pray to God to give you a little bit of help, and he will. But it's been my impression and my experience that you already know what you're doing. Okay, now trying to force a shy kid to come out of a shell as whatever you want. It is abusive in a way. Let me tell you something. I was a little bit of a shy kid, so I thought I was a shy kid. I did not like crowds. I did not like being around a lot of people, or it just made overwhelmed me at any age. I could hang out for a little while, but after that, I was like, okay, I'm done with this. Now knowing, I understand, and even today as an adult, I can only handle a certain amount of other people's that's not my family. It just gets overwhelming and it gets tiring. And after a while, I just want to go into a quiet room and read a book. That was my personality. And it was painful to be taken and just put out in the midst of a lot of chaos and a lot of people and all of this stuff. Now, here's the problem that I have, one of the many problems, but this one. His suggestion is that dad needs to buy 2 sets of boxing gloves and go at it with his son. Okay? Now, because that might have worked for him with his children, does not automatically mean that this will work with your children. Okay, with your child. Your child is very different than any other kid. And let me tell you, if I'm and some of my kids would never do that, because that gives you're actually raising your hand against your father. Plus, now you're trying to turn what is probably a gentle, kind soul into a violent child. And let me tell you, a 4-year-old hasn't gone through puberty then yet. Okay, we've ushered 3 boys through puberty. And if you want angry, violent, mean, that's the age. And you know what? If you haven't taught them to respect you and control their emotions by then, you haven't done a job. And it takes a lot of kindness, patience, and tough love to get 3 kids through, your young adults through puberty.
As a man, trust me, it's easier to beat on a child than spend time with him. If you don't spend time with him, you have to beat him.
Yeah.
Or you can do what I did. Spend a hell of a lot of time with them
Yeah.
if they
Yeah.
learn from example.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, beating on people, that's the lazy man's way,
That's right.
in
That's
my
right.
opinion,
Yeah.
but who am I?
But yeah, I mean, that wasn't an option and shouldn't be an option. And I really think that the Christian community needs to knock it off. Okay? Stop telling people to beat on their children. It's not Christ-like.
Church.
Yeah.
I'll preach it.
So the other problem I had, okay, here's the mindset of Doug Wilson, friends. Okay? The shy kid, son, he automatically assumes it's a boy. Or did he say it was a boy? It doesn't matter. But the solution is only for a boy. Only a boy is not allowed to be shy. Now, what about a girl? Girls are shy too. Shouldn't they come out of their shell? No, because women are supposed to be shut up, sit down, and make sandwiches. See? Okay? I would say, friends, Doug Wilson and his wife, Nancy Wilson, are not child therapists. They don't have the necessary know how, knowledge, and understanding of child psychology to be giving you any sort of advice whatsoever, and neither would I. All I can tell you is what I have done, what we have done with our children, what we have observed after raising 3 boys and 1 girl, and the differences between them. And the one thing that we know works wonderfully well is giving lots of love, lots of attention, form a routine for them, and don't to let them know what to expect. Okay? Their expectation is for them to be honest, to be gentle, to be kind to others, to look outside of themselves to see what anybody else around them needs, and that will do wonders for them as human beings. Okay? And you are not to expect perfection from a 4-year old or a 5-year old or a 10-year old, not even a 19-year old. Okay? It is not until they're in their 20s that they start to show this true maturity. And you can either get, by beating them up, a fake response to maturity, or you can let that human being grow into the mature adult that is going to be loving, kind, generous, respectful of others, uh, all the things that you wish your adult children were. Okay. Again, I'm going to say the last time, your pastor, your preacher, your priest, okay, whoever it is that you hold in high esteem of, that is not qualified to tell you how to raise your child, okay, and is not qualified to tell you how to run your marriage either. Okay, they're not at all, because they are just like you, flawed, broken, sinful people. Okay, what you want to do perhaps is talk whatever issue you have in your with your children, you figure it out. Look at to yourself and see, what am I doing? How can I help this child? Not look at them as necessarily an extension of you. They're not an extension of you. They're a separate single individual with their own needs, their own ideas, things that they love, they care about, things that affect them differently than you. They're literally wired chemically different than you. Okay? So the first step is, do not try to make little carbon copies of yourself. And then you go and find out what's going on. You know what? Just talk to your kids. At 4 years old, it is the perfect time to just talk to your kids about everything. So that they, and be an open door so that they can feel like they can come to tell you everything. Okay? You need to keep the line of communication open with your kid. And beating them up ain't gonna do it. If you spank a 3-year old because they did or said something that you didn't like, or you thought it was sinful or whatever, that child will not tell you the truth the next time. I promise you that. Anyways, if you're having children issues with your children, whatever, all that, and it's really bad, seek professional help. Okay? Find a child therapist if it's really, really bad that you're concerned for their health and all that, the mental well-being. But observe, your children go through all stages. Okay, they will go through the shy stage, the me stage, the all the stages, the selfish stage, the whatever stage, the all of them. Okay, observe. This is part of them growing up as human beings and trying to understand themselves. Okay, don't spank your children, please. Jesus would be very angry at you. I know that. Why? Because I read my Bible. You should read it too. Anyways, God bless. Uh, I'll link the video below for Doug Wilson. I'm telling you right now, he is wholly unqualified to tell anybody how to raise his children. Okay, he's not a child therapist. And there's other things that I'm not gonna address, but he's not qualified for any of that. All right. He's just a scholar that knows theology and finds himself guiding a flock, and he's wrong. All right. God bless. Bye bye.